Welcome back to 5 Acres Honey Farm. I'm Tara Lynn, and there is a storm about to roll in, and I also realized this is like 2 videos in a row that I forgot to film an intro, so we'll be better about that. But I have some footage for over the weekend of building our first paddock area for the Idaho Pasture Pigs that we are bringing home in less than 2 weeks. So I'll give you a little peek into that, and I'll let you know what we're planning next. I'm starting with laying out where I think the paddocks will go, and then I'm just mowing the grass down in the areas that the wire will be. The plan is to use these cattle panels to make a temporary pen for when they first arrive, which will be right here. The poultry netting is actually going to be a perimeter border around all of the paddocks, just in case, just as an extra layer of prevention, both for keeping out predators, but also keeping them in. And then inside the poultry netting, we're setting up the T-posts and the hot wire, and these are going to be set up into kind of a wagon wheel format. So their house and their future water supply will be in the center, and they'll be in this first paddock after their first week, and then they'll rotate over here. And while they're in this space, we'll move their house to this T-post, and that will become the center of their next wagon wheel rotation. And so they're going to rotate in these wagon wheel fashions around the perimeter of the house while they're young, and then they're going to rotate up into the woods, and that'll be about the time when the oak leaves are coming down, so they'll have that to eat and all the acorns and hickory nuts. So hopefully they'll have a grand feast on all of that Japanese stilt grass that goes nuts this time of year all throughout here. So that's the plan. So I am about to get all the T-posts properly in the ground. Right now they're just in notional spaces, and then set up the panels and the hot wire, and then we're waiting on one more piece for the electric fence to arrive, and then Mike's going to do all of the electrical work. I have the panels pretty much where I want them, so you can kind of see a little bit better. This will be where the entrance is, and we'll just keep a pallet here, and the hot wire will be extending between these 2 T-posts, so once they're in, we'll be able to just walk over it. So yeah, so they'll be in here, and I've kind of changed a little bit, but notionally it's the same. So after they've been here close to a week, that panel will be taken out, and to give you a closer look, this little wasp is hanging out here. So then they'll have access. That will be sectioned off, so they won't be able to get through between that post and the panel, but they'll be able to then get down into this space. This will still be sectioned off, so they'll just kind of get this extra bit of grass. We'll keep them there for a few days. We'll just kind of keep an eye on how much they're foraging, and then they'll get this little back corner, and then this T-post to that T-post will be marked off, and we'll take that wire out, and they'll then have access to all of this space through here. So so they'll have all of that to hang out in, and that would mean then while they're in there, we'll be able to take all of this material. I won't be using the cattle panels again after this, so it'll just be picking up those T-posts and setting them up in their new section. I made a lot of progress, and it is so hot out. I think it's 97 right now. So the idea now is, this was actually a cover crop experiment that I just let keep going, so that's gonna actually get cleared out before they move in. I do have some of those seeds left over that I could sow in here, but they're gonna be in here in 2 weeks, so they probably won't grow that much. But at least in the other areas they're gonna move to, those will get seeded with a cover crop of different forage for them. And then I'm going to be getting seeds for fall cover crops for the backfield, which they'll get to in a few months. But the poultry netting is all set up around the perimeter. It's not perfect because I will have to mow again before they get here and then get it situated. But this is where their entrance is. Got their little house set up in here. We realized this space is way too sunny and hot in the afternoon, so we were gonna have them spend their first week without their house, but we decided we're gonna pull it in. So that's the panel that's gonna come out after a week, and then we could slide their house down to this little triangular area. So this is the center of that wagon wheel that I described earlier. And then they're going to move through here, and they'll have this space, which is really great. And actually, once I had the netting set up, they had more room than I had thought I would be able to put them in. And then they'll have this space, and while they're in here, I'll be able to pull these posts out and stick them in their next areas. We were waiting on one more part for the electric fence, which is the charger, kind of an important part, but we have everything else. So instead of being out here in the crazy heat, I've done all of the loud noises, which is the T-post driver that I need to do. So I'm totally done with that really sweaty work. And now I'm going to put this stuff away and cool off, and I can actually get the wire set up early in the mornings this week when it's nice and not 97 degrees. So very happy with all this progress, and in about 13 days we'll have some little pig friends in here. I worked the last few mornings on all the hot wire, so I am done, and now just waiting for the charger, and then Mike will take care of the rest. But it's really, really satisfying to see all of this come together. I decided to throw some cover crops around their future areas. I'll put a list in the description of the seeds that I'm using. I'll do a separate video about the electrical part of this fence because we're still waiting for the charger to arrive, which will be tomorrow, and my husband will probably be able to help explain a little bit more about that. So I will link to all of those products in the next video. We'll share bringing home the pigs in a few weeks, and I'm already chatting with some folks about our next critters. So the pigs will be here until about February. I'm hoping end of February. At the latest, potentially into early March. And then it'll be nice to kind of have a break from some larger livestock. And then I'm hoping sometime over the summer that we could bring in potentially some sheep. So if you have experience with sheep, and especially in the South, because that's a little bit of a particular special situation with the heat down here, please comment, and I'd love to get connected and hear about your experience. But it is starting to rain and thunder, so I will share some more next time. Thank you.